Hey guys, what's up? Lumpy Ice Cream here.
With the Tim.
The Tim. Alright, we've got another video for you guys. He's going to get his noodles.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Probably.
they might not be ready.
They might not be ready. He didn't set a timer.
Yeah, I never do. Does not does that.
Never does. This is actually like our third time recording this video.
It is.
Hopefully it doesn't do that again. We basically put it down to Tim was uploading a video. Potentially that could have been fucking with the recording. I don't know. We'll find out. It cuts out around the 10-minute mark, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So, continuing along from last week. Last Wednesday.
Yep, last Wednesday.
Yep. When we looked at Series 1 of Doctor Who. Today, we're looking at Series 2.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, basically, I can't be talking about all of the, well, we're going to go through the list, but basically what we're going to do is just, I'll say it, give it a rating, and then we'll move along.
Yeah.
Cause
we're just moving through the episodes really quickly.
Yeah, because we're going to go back to it and say the best thing about it and all of that. So, yeah. Number 11 is Fear Her. I give it a 2.
I gave it a 3.
It's a famously bad story. No, I gave it a 1. Give it a 1, sorry.
Yeah.
I give it a 1. He gives it a 3.
You really knocked your score then.
Yeah, fuck that.
For Fear Her.
Number 9, The Idiot's Lantern. I give this, I give it a 2. I don't know why.
I can't remember what I gave it when we recorded it the last 2 times.
I think you gave it a 2, probably.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Number 9, Love and Monsters. I give this a 3, just because I can laugh at this story.
I also gave it a 3
Yeah.
because it's a fairly decent story for what it is.
Yeah. Number 8, School Reunion. I also give this a 3.
I think I gave it a 4.
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah, you said you were being generous, so you gave it a 4. Number 7, The Christmas Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this a 4.
I'm giving it a 6.
You're giving it a 6?
Because I really like that episode.
Yeah, it's okay. Number 6, Tooth and Claw. This isn't probably the episode I've changed opinions on the most. Oftentimes I can watch it and think, oh, that was shit. And then oftentimes I can watch it and say, that was pretty good.
I think I've seen it like twice. I'm not sure if I can really comment on it.
Yeah.
Because it has been a while since I've seen this episode. So,
yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm just going to skip out on the rating because, yeah.
Well, I give it a 5.
I'm fresh enough in my memory.
Yeah, well, I give it a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Leads us to number 5, Army of Ghosts / Doomsday. I think the better part is Army of Ghosts.
Yep.
But even then, that's not a particularly good story. I think it's the same problem. I'm doing it again. It's the same problem that Alien vs. Predator has. It doesn't run with its premise. It's a Predator movie, and the aliens are only there to be killed by the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
Same here. The Cybermen are only in this story to be killed by the Daleks.
Yeah.
And I guess it's realistic. I mean, really, those Cybermen would get their asses kicked. I guess it's realistic, but
anyone would get their asses kicked by the Daleks. Let's be real.
What?
Anyone would get their asses kicked by the Daleks.
I'd reckon the new Cybermen would kick their ass.
Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Anyone except the new Cybermen.
Yeah. I give Army of Ghosts a 5. And give Doomsday a 4.
Overall?
Overall was a 5.
I don't know. Again, this is one of those episodes that I have not seen in a while, so I can't comment with a clear head on it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip out on the ratings for that one as well.
Okay. Moving on to Rise of the Cybermen / Age of Steel. I think Age of Steel is the better part there.
I would agree with you on that.
Again, it's not a particularly good story. I don't understand why of all the villains that brought back, the Cybermen need to be rebooted. As far as I'm aware, they're the only ones who have, except for like the major inconsistencies with the Zygons from the last time we saw them, but whatever. Yeah, it's a decent story, and like I said in the last part, Age of Steel was the first New Who story I ever saw. There's just not particularly a good story. It's not particularly a good story, and I mean, I want to say the Cybermen are probably my favorite villains, because my favorite episode is a Cyberman story. So to see them, this is kind of like put them on the path where they became kind of shitty and didn't have much to do, whereas in Classic Who they were pretty much everywhere, just as much as the Daleks. So
I guess that's why they were pit against each other in this episode.
Oh yeah, for the first.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for the first time. I give Age of Steel a 6, with Rise of the Cybermen being a 5, and the overall is a 6.
Right. I think both of them together, because I think this is one of those episodes where I don't think of it as 2 parts. I think of it as one episode.
Yeah, I can get that feeling.
So yeah, like as one episode, I would give it solid 6.5.
6.5. Okay, number 3, and this may shock a lot of people. New Earth. I actually really love this story, and
so do I.
One of those episodes I never held in high regard until the 2013 rewatch, as I call it, where I guess I kind of got a new appreciation for the show. I mean, I always loved it, but there were a lot of episodes I thought were really bad until I rewatched it with kind of like a mindset of not a child, I guess, but more an actual proper fan, not just a kid fascinated with the show. So, upon rewatching New Earth, it's an episode I really enjoy. I love the premise, which we'll get more into later, but I give this an easy 8.
I would definitely agree with the 8, yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
I would even like stretch it probably to a 9, but yeah, probably not past 9.
The only thing that restricts me from giving certain episodes more is if I put them in my mind with, say, 10 out of 10 episodes or 9 out of 10 episodes, do they hold up? And the answer for New Earth is no. I can't hold it in the same regard as I would Tomb of the Cybermen or Parting of the Ways.
Right. But
it's still pretty much up there. Number 2, Impossible Planet / the Satan Pit. I'm gonna say Impossible Planet's just that tiny little bit better, because I think it has some of that really nice horror elements. I still think one of my favourite shots of this season, and probably the entire show, is when she looks out and Toby is standing there on the planet and he turns around. That sticks out in my mind as one of the creepiest shots from Doctor Who ever. The music that's playing throughout that scene, it's just terrifying. I mean, and the Ood, you know, there's this creepiness to them that, you know, it's that kind of friendly warmth kind of thing, because they're not, you know, it's not them, and come the end of the episode, you kind of feel for them. Like that one shot when the Ood are just cowering as the whole thing's coming down, I'm like, no! The Ood! I'm gonna give both of these a 10 out of 10, because I really love these 2 episodes. They have just got massive creep factor to them, and I think that's something Doctor Who should always have. I think Doctor Who should just be this mishmash of just all these different genres in one, but first and foremost, it needs to have that creepy factor to it, at least I think, is a very important thing, because Doctor Who back in the day was pretty much famous for putting children behind the couch in fear. I mean, that's one thing that is prominent in classic Who. And when, I think some of the best New Who episodes are ones that embrace that.
Yep.
So that's why these
that.
give a 10 out of 10. You?
Again, one of those episodes, or two-parters, that I have not seen in a while, as a lot of Season 2.
Yeah.
So Series 2 is just one of those seasons where I just haven't really engaged with it as much as I should.
I think it's the worst of all of the New Who seasons.
I wouldn't say it's the worst. Like, I don't really have, like, a ranking for each of the seasons or anything.
I have a ranking for everything.
That's true.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Literally everything.
But, yeah.
More on that later, probably.
Series 1, like, I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
And, like, never really liked it. Gained a new appreciation for it after, like, Eccleston was left out of the 50th or something.
Yeah.
And, other seasons, yeah, I love because friggin' David Tennant and Matt Smith and stuff. And Peter Capaldi and stuff. But, yeah, Season 2 is just one of those seasons that I never really... Yeah, I don't engage with it.
Yeah, no.
As
I
much
think
as
it's
I feel like I
mainly
should.
because the stories are pretty lackluster.
Yeah, they are pretty weak.
I mean, there are only... I mean, when you go back and look at our Series 1 review, I gave about 4 episodes or something 10 out of 10s. Here, there's only 2.
Yeah.
And then there's the 8, and then it drops to like a 6 after that. The episodes just aren't good. I mean, I don't know what it is. So,
it does feel like it has a lot of filler in it.
Yep, it's definitely like the most filler season, I guess. I mean, there's the good kind of filler, and then there's the bad. Series 3, I think, is filled with good filler.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of that season doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah, like, that one episode after the library episodes. Was it after the library episodes?
No, that's Series 4. Are you talking about Midnight?
Series 4. What am I talking about? Anyway, yeah, I'm probably talking about Midnight. Yeah. Yeah, Series 3 was filled with a lot of filler.
Yeah.
And
like 42, I still think is an underrated classic.
42 is a really good story.
That is the traditional base under siege Doctor Who story.
It's plus it's a pretty frightening story.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that when, like, next week we'll talk about Series 3.
This is all kind of filled with the bad filler episodes. Nothing really links to anything, really. I mean... Whereas Series 1 had the Bad Wolf thing, and that all culminated in Rose becoming Bad Wolf. This one, it's just Torchwood.
Yeah.
Torchwood's just mentioned here and there, and then it's just this institute that really... It has nothing to do with the overall plot.
Yeah.
I mean...
And then it became a spin-off.
Yeah.
A really good spin-off.
Oh, yeah.
Check out Torchwood if you haven't, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Go look at Torchwood.
Miracle Day, I've heard bad things about. I've never seen it. I'm planning to watch it once I rewatch.
Oh, Children of Earth.
Children of Earth.
Children of Earth is brilliant.
That is fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
That can probably contend with my favourite Doctor Who series. I mean...
We'll probably talk about Torchwood and Doctor Who comparisons at some point.
We definitely should.
Yeah. Because Torchwood is so wildly different to Doctor Who.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a point in time where I actually liked that more. Where I actually preferred Torchwood, but...
Torchwood's a lot more adult.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, your ranking for Impossible Planet.
Anyway, yeah.
The Satan Pit.
From what I can remember, it's very good.
Yeah.
I would not give it a 10 out of 10, though. I would probably give it an 8.5. Again, that's from what I remember.
Yep.
Upon rewatching it, I may raise the rating, but, you know...
Yeah.
That just depends on when I get around to watching it.
Yeah. Alright, so that of course means number 1 is Girl in the Fireplace.
Oh my god!
This is just this is why I get so angry about Moffat's run.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like Moffat as showrunner, because I know what he's capable of, and
because he has written some really good episodes.
Exactly. I mean,
it's just that he doesn't really write good seasons.
I can take the worst of the bunch he's done from the original 4, as I call it. I will put it up against the best he has done since taking on the show. Nothing would compare.
Nothing.
It would not be a comparison. I mean,
Girl in the Fireplace is literally...
I don't know how he can go from having me crapping my pants with, like, The Empty Child and all of that, and, like, crying my eyes out with this story, to making me probably one of the most angry people in the history of angry people with Day of the Doctor.
Yeah.
I am looking so forward for our Series 7 video. I really am.
Oh my god.
That is going to be a rant of epic proportion. Not just on that, because I have so much to say about Series 7, and I want to get it all off my chest. It's going to be good. But this story, it's emotional, and it's a good example of romance with the Doctor that works.
Yeah.
I don't mind when the Doctor has a little bit of romance, because you're just going to have to accept that it's a part of modern day.
Yeah.
But for the companion who has literally pretty much just met this man, for them to be in love, it makes no sense for me.
It's okay if they fancy him, but not like full on. Oh, it's love.
No, because it's even I just love companions that don't have any emotional attachment at all.
What is they don't have any emotional attachment?
No.
Don't have any romantic attachment.
Romantic attachment. That's what worked with Donna. That's why she's probably my favorite companion of the entire fucking new series. It's a nitpick I had with Clara as well, when they put that dreadful, just such a little line in Time of the Doctor, and it completely ruined everything for me. I mean, it's something I don't like. When it's done like it is here, I'm okay with it. Because, you know, when you actually look in context, she grew up with this man in her mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like Amy, which is why I don't mind it with Amy so much, was because she grew up fascinated with this man for like 12 years.
Yeah.
And then ultimately it didn't even matter anyway, because they just kind of left it alone.
Moffat was like, I don't want those.
Yeah. So, I mean, this episode is just fantastic. The clockwork robots are terrifying.
They really are.
I mean,
the fact that they have those really creepy smiles on their faces is just the icing on the fucking cake, man.
Yeah. I mean, Tennant in this episode is funny. He
invents the banana daiquiri.
Yeah, it's just great. I mean, Arthur the horse.
I could watch this episode. If I had to watch one episode of Doctor Who for the rest of my life, first of all, I would be very upset because I'd be missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be satisfied if I could just watch this episode for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, after this, we're probably gonna watch it.
Yeah, probably.
I don't have Netflix for nothing. I've got to use this 1 month free trial thing.
Yeah.
But I'll probably end up paying for it.
Yeah.
In the end, I'm just like, screw it.
Probably.
So,
well, mine's run out, so.
Poor you.
No, it runs out today.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
What? Your free trial?
Yeah, my free trial.
You know they'll charge you, like, straight away. You have to cancel your account.
I'll do that.
Before the free trial ends, or they directly charge your account.
I'll do that.
You probably should.
Yeah.
So yeah, I give this a 10 out of 10, obviously.
I would 100% agree with you, man.
Yes, it's one of the greatest of all time.
It is.
Definitely. Alright, so we're going to go through these in order of release. Good parts, biggest problems, funniest scene. Christmas Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the funniest scene is probably the whole opening bit with Tennant, or like when he first comes out of the TARDIS, and faces the cigarettes. Like when he's going on that speech, he's like, "No, wait a minute, that's the Lion King."
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and that was just the perfect introduction to like who the 10th Doctor was going to be. He was just going to be a scatterbrained prick.
Yeah.
And it was
exactly.
I was literally about to bring up that scene.
Or when he's just woken up, he's just killed the Christmas tree thing, blown it up, and he's like in pain, and he's trying to tell Jackie what he needs, and she's just like, won't stop talking in true Jackie fashion.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I need you to shut up. Yeah, I mean, funny scenes in Tennant episodes are plentiful.
Yeah.
Biggest problem, and I think it can be said for pretty much everything in this season, it feels like filler.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we can come up with something a bit more creative, because this basically applies to every episode in the season, and to an extent, every Christmas special.
Yeah.
I think Moffat is better at making them. I don't really like this episode. I don't like The Runaway Bride. I like Voyage of the Damned. I think that's pretty cool. I like The Next Doctor, and The End of Time is dreadful. It's atrocious. But then, A Christmas Carol, I really love that. That is probably a 9 out of 10 episode for me.
Right.
That unmentionable 2011 Christmas special is the worst New Who episode ever, and the worst episode I have ever witnessed. I wish I could erase that from my memory, but I can't.
Well, we could try.
We can try. I would literally risk the brain damage it would take to remove that from my memory.
Okay, save up the money, and you can probably, participate in some mind-altering research.
Probably, yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
I like the Snowmen,
Mm-hmm.
and Time of the Doctor I felt was a missed opportunity, but at the same time, I understand why the problems were there.
Yeah.
And that all boils down to Moffat not telling the story when he should be, leaving it all to the last second, and then Matt Smith's all like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. You can't have a last season with me to tie up all of this. We got to do it in one 60-minute Christmas special. Which they should have done the End of Time approach and split it into 2 parts.
Yeah.
Because, I don't care. They basically just... Anyway, we'll discuss that. So...
Rants for later.
Yeah. I think pretty much most of the RTD Christmas specials... Oh, Last Christmas is great too. I think most of the Christmas specials feel like filler.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't... The RTD ones don't really feel like a Christmas special. They're not very Christmassy. You know? It's like, they're at Christmas, whereas the Moffat ones,
They do take advantage of the Christmas thing.
Yeah, which, for a Christmas special, it's kind of key. So, I don't know what it is. But if I had to say a biggest problem, I'd probably say the Harriet Jones joke. It's stupid, and it all culminates at the end of Series 4 as well, when even the Daleks are fucking doing it. And, oh my god, I am looking forward to getting to the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. I am looking forward to all of the episodes. Yep. Episodes I can rant on.
Yeah.
I am really looking forward to it. So,
hooray.
Yeah, I'd probably say the Harriet Jones joke because it pisses me off. So, yeah, I'd say that. You?
I would say my favorite scene, not necessarily the best scene, but one of my favorite scenes in this episode is the scene where the Doctor's just like, I could ruin your career
Yeah.
in however many words.
6.
6 words.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, you couldn't. You couldn't. I'm Harriet Jones.
No, he's like,
I'm invincible.
Yeah, he's like, I can bring you down with 1 word. No, not 1 word. 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I can bring you down with 6 words. And she's like, no, you can't. I'm Harriet Jones. I'm invincible. What are you talking about? And then he's like, oh, really? Okay. Don't you think she looks tired?
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck.
I'd probably say the scene where he kills the Sycorax leader.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're my favorite David Tennant moments. I think he's
just really great in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say in terms of, again, it kind of sickens me to say this, but he's probably the best actor who has played the Doctor. Just because this, the emotion he can show without uttering a word. Yeah. One of my favorite scenes of him is where he doesn't even say anything, and it's the scene in Family of Blood, when after that, the whole battle's just been done, and, the family are on the ground, and he just stands there and looks.
Yeah.
That is probably my favorite 10th Doctor scene of all time.
Oh my god, I'm gonna love rewatching Season 3.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
That is one of my favorite seasons.
Yes! Season 3 is like, my second favorite season.
Yeah. I mean, it ends in a massive shitfest.
With Series 4 being my favorite season, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I just want to say, officially, Utopia is counted as part of the finale. I do not count it, because I personally think Utopia is good. But, I mean, yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite scene is when he kills the Sycorax leader, because, again, I mean, even for people who keep saying the Doctor is a goody two-shoes, and their favorite Doctor is David Tennant, I'm like, did you not watch any of his era? He did that. What he did to the Family of Blood was probably the most bloodthirsty thing any Doctor has ever done.
Yeah.
Probably.
But then again, he did sit in the TARDIS and go, yippee tappy choo-tar.
Yeah, true. And it's moments like that that kind of make me go...
It's just, David Tennant had so many funny scenes.
Yeah.
He had so many very serious scenes.
Yeah.
And, like, a lot of people overlook the really serious scenes, and it's no, but have you seen these serious scenes?
Yeah.
Have you seen the serious scenes? No, but look, he did this funny thing in this one episode. No, but look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
He didn't fucking say a word. Look at his face.
Yeah.
You can feel it, bro.
Exactly. And that's another thing that extends to Matt Smith as well.
Yeah.
People always remember him for being the, goofy Doctor, and...
Which he is. He is a really goofy Doctor, but
that's sad.
Again, he does the serious stuff really well.
He frightened me more than any other Doctor. When he got mad, oh my god. 11,
when he gets mad, is honestly more terrifying than the fucking Clockwork robots.
Yes, it's fucking freaky.
It's like, Jesus Christ. This is the same guy who just a second ago was saying bow ties are cool and running around in a fucking fez.
It's funny because sometimes when I keep thinking that Peter Davison used to be the youngest actor to portray the Doctor, I still think that in my mind. I'm like, yeah, no, wait, Matt Smith. Because Matt Smith feels so old. He portrays that age better than anyone else, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he is the youngest of the lot, and yet he feels the oldest. That's maybe why I like him more than Tennant, because, again, Tennant's just a bit too human. Tennant is basically the more human version of Matt Smith anyway, or Matt Smith is the more alien version of him.
Whichever way you want to toss it up.
Yeah, but, I mean, he irritates me more than Matt Smith does, and I don't know why. It's maybe because the serious scenes where he gets serious are few and far between, and then when he does get serious, it's mainly because, oh, the woman I love just, you know, died or got locked in this dimension or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, yeah, we get this good scene, but we had to go through that to get to it.
One of my issues with Series 3 is that the Doctor's very, like, he's very moody about Rose. Yeah. And it's like, that's understandable, man, but, like, it does get better toward the end of the season.
Yeah, but...
Like, he does gradually get over it, but those first couple episodes, he was just like,
yeah, that's what I fucking, oh my god.
He was pretty much Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, in fucking...
Rachel, I think Rose.
That's why I don't like Martha. Either. I don't like the Doctor from that season, and I don't like Martha, mainly because, you know, well, we'll talk about that in Companion Departures, because it's one reason, but... anyway. So yeah, moving on to New Earth.
Oh shit, I forgot we were talking about episodes.
Yeah. I'd say the funniest bit is Cassandra in Tennant's body.
Oh my god, that's
or just Cassandra in general.
Cassandra in that episode, played by everyone, is just so good.
It's really funny. I mean...
so many parts!
Yeah. And... It's great.
It's just one of the most entertaining things you could possibly ask from Doctor Who.
I'd say the biggest problem with it is the fucking end. It's played off to be this great emotional piece, but when you think about it, it's just her going up to herself and saying, "You're beautiful," and then that's it.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was Chip, it wasn't Cassandra, that actually went up and did that of his own accord. And it makes it better for me, because I can sit through it and go, yeah, okay. But then, I mean, the way they make you think it is, and probably the way it was intended, was it's Cassandra literally going up to herself and saying, "You're so very beautiful," and then dying. It's like,
well, she just wanted to do one more narcissistic act before she died.
And that kind of makes everything she learnt in the episode just kind of null and void. Because it's so narcissistic, and it's Cassandra of old. That's what she was like in End of the World. That was the that's what she was like at the beginning. She went through quite a lot in the episode, I think, to the point that she literally said, "I'm ready to die." But then she goes and does a narcissistic thing like that.
I don't know.
It's like what Margaret Blaine seems to go through in Boomtown, but then it's literally just, boom, it was a diversion. That's what it's like to me.
I mean, you could... There are so many points I could argue right now, but I'm not going to go into them because, like, that would just take up way too much of the video. And, like, yeah, I don't know. There are just, a couple of reasons that I could, like, throw out. And that would take, like, half an hour to explain. Whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, so... Biggest problem for you?
Biggest problem... I can't really think of one aside from... I don't know. Nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Can't think of one.
Best scene for me... I guess... relatively small. But, even though the CG's bad, whenever one of the infected touched the cat, and it just went... The body horror kind of thing with that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. It's like, whoa, that was
even remembering gruesome. It is just, God.
Yeah, I mean, the CG is, you know, the CG of the time.
CG is okay.
Yeah, but
it just looks terrifying, practically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the effects on the infected just look, ugh.
I don't want to talk about them anymore.
Yeah, no.
Let's move on.
Okay, so moving on to Tooth and Claw.
Yep.
I'd say the funniest scene, not that there's a whole, is probably Rose doing the Scottish accent.
Literally all I remember of this episode is Queen Victoria's there. There's a werewolf. David Tennant gets to do his natural accent.
Yeah.
That's all I remember of it.
I guess the whole bet that the Rose and the Doctor have, it's like Rose is like, I bet I can get her to say it, and the Doctor's like, no. But then they try to pull it off at very inappropriate times. Like, there are times when, I can't remember what parts, but I remember sitting there and they try and, Rose tries and pushes her to say it.
Say what?
I'm not amused.
Oh, right.
And, like, they try, she tries to push for it, and I'm like, no. It's like, not now.
No.
And then when it happens at the end, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, you realize how many people just died, right?
It wasn't even the werewolf, it was just Rose. It was just Rose's constant attempts to try to get Queen Victoria to say we're not amused.
Yeah. Biggest problem would probably be that. Yeah. Plus the monks just kind of disappear halfway through it. Like, they're there guarding the place and they have mistletoe around their neck. And then they're just gone? Okay. Whatever. But, yeah. Best scene... I'd probably say any scene with the werewolf host. I mean, he was creepy when he's just sitting in the cage and the way he's talking. It's like, fucking hell, this guy is creepy. But, I know you can't remember much about the episode, so...
Best scene, any scene where David Tennant does his natural accent.
Anyway.
That's it.
Moving along to School Reunion.
Yep.
I'd say the funniest scene... probably...
I can't remember, but I think isn't there a scene where, like, the Doctor and Sarah Jane are reminiscing about stuff, and Rose is just off in the background, like, haha, fuck you guys.
Maybe. Oh no, I think it was Rose and Sarah Jane having a bitch fest.
That's it.
And, like, about who they've met and all of that. Like, I met the Daleks, met the Emperor, but they're alone to begin with, and then when the Doctor comes in, they're laughing at him.
Right, yeah.
And all of that. Biggest problem, and I cannot stress this enough, when they bring Sarah Jane back, the problems that are carried over to New Who companions, they try and carry over to the classic. They try and make it seem as if Sarah Jane had feelings for the Doctor. I mean, that's the way I always view that story, is that the way she's talking about the way the music is going, it's like, that's what's happening there. The way she has no reason to be jealous over Rose unless she had feelings. And that's what I fucking hate, because when you look at the Doctors she was with, they were just friends. The third Doctor, the fourth Doctor, nothing going on there, so... frustrating me. Plus, I don't think we said it in this recording, but I mentioned it in the other ones. The reason this episode was so low is because I think the only reason it's held in high regard is because it brought K9 and Sarah Jane back. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good. I mean, I can't stand the Sarah Jane Adventures, and that has Sarah Jane in it. I guess probably my favourite part about it is Anthony Head. He played a really good villain.
He always does.
Yeah, he does.
And there's literally no way, and I don't think Anthony Head can actually do any wrong when acting.
No, exactly. And one thing that always shocks me about watching this episode is they killed a child in this episode. I mean, I don't think you'd really ever see that ever again in Doctor Who, let alone most family shows.
Yep. I
mean, to do that is going pretty dark. So, yeah, but overall the episode just kind of feels not a whole lot to say about it. You?
Can't really comment.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a bit.
Okay. moving on to Girl in the Fireplace. Again, no, I guess the funniest scene is Drunk
10.
Drunk 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no escaping it. That's the funniest thing.
Yeah, that is hands down.
Always bring bananas to the party.
Biggest problem, I guess it just extends to all Moffat stories that are like this. You know, why isn't he doing stuff like this anymore? Don't know what to say for this. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. I guess the biggest problem with it is the fact it makes me cry every time.
The only problem, my only problem is that I haven't tried a banana daiquiri yet.
Okay.
I mean, David Tennant invented this thing. I need to drink it.
Best scene.
Drunk 10.
I'm gonna say the ending because it makes me cry every time.
Every time. So, like if you cry every time.
Yeah.
Like if you cry every time.
Just do it.
Just do it!
No.
Sorry.
No Shire in this video.
Shire, fly higher.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. The ending makes me cry.
Either the ending or Drunk 10.
That comes on the funniest scene, you idiot.
Can also be the best scene
as well. It cannot. That's why we created the funniest scene parts.
We did not sing. We did not accept what?
No, because for Rose, we chose a funny scene as the best scene. So we're like, you know what? We'll split it. You can't even remember, man.
No, I can't.
No. Anyway,
I don't remember this shit.
Going on to Rise of the Cybermen, I'd say funniest scene. There's not really a whole lot. I guess. No, there's not a whole lot of funny scenes. Probably.
It's like a kind of a very. I don't know. I want to say somber. Do I want to say somber? No, it's not. But it's not a very light-hearted story.
No, not really. Actually, it is pretty somber. It's pretty depressing, kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the funniest scene is when the Doctor kicks the TARDIS console. It's like, did that help? Yep. Did that hurt? Yep. That, or at the very beginning when the Doctor and Rose are just talking about the places they've been, and Mickey's just there holding the button, and then when the Doctor realizes, it's like, how long have you been holding that for? About 10 minutes. Whatever. Just funny. Biggest problem, I'd say what it did to the Cybermen. Because, I mean, I don't like the Parallel Earth Cybermen. I can't stand them. I'm glad that they just kind of went screw it and threw them away. But then they just kind of brushed it under the carpet as well. I mean, I'm not even sure half the audience probably realized when the Mondasian Cybermen returned. I mean, do you?
Nope.
No, Series 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, when they're in the Pandorica opens, that's the Mondasian Cybermen.
Mondasian Cybermen?
The original from the classic.
Oh, right, yeah, now I remember.
So yeah, the story behind them is basically they're from Earth's twin planet.
Right.
And whereas these ones are from the parallel Earth. The way you can kind of tell is when the C on the chest goes, and it's just like a circle, that's Mondasian Cybermen.
Right.
So yeah, basically when it involves anything except invading Earth. Anyway, so yeah, I'd say biggest problem is probably trying to reboot the Cybermen, because it doesn't make sense why it's the Cybermen that are getting a reboot, and not every other villain. Like, you know, the villains they always bring back are like the same villains, so why can't the Cybermen be the same? If it happened more often, probably I wouldn't care. Well, no, I don't want to say the Silurians either, because they're a different branch of Silurians. So, yeah, I technically count them as new monsters, because they are.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I'd say that is my biggest problem with it. And no, my biggest problem is the massive overacting from Roger Lloyd Pack. It's like, I'm evil. Ah. That was literally him.
That's just that was so spot on.
It was.
For a minute, I was just like, that's him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, why does he have to be this evil?
Because...
Plus, it bothers me how much the actor who played Pete Tyler, like, how much older he looks when it's just 1 year.
Yeah.
It's like, literally 1 year has passed, and he looks so much older.
He looks like he's Rose's grandfather.
What? I mean, story-wise, it works, but...
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway. I think the funniest bit is Rose being a dog in this universe, but I always think it's funny because I think that Rose is less of a bitch than regular Rose. And it's true. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I have to say. Although, actually, my favorite scene would actually probably be Mickey meeting his gran.
Oh.
That is like, just, like, I like Mickey.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I like...
If you don't like Mickey, go away.
I tend to like the companions' boyfriends more than the companions, necessarily. Don't know why. I guess it's just mainly because, well, for Moffat anyway,
it's probably because you're a male viewer. And you connect better to the male companions.
Yeah.
So.
But, also, like, Moffat's not particularly good at writing women.
No, he's not.
At all.
I used to be indifferent to his writing of women, and now I'm just
I think
annoyed.
River Song is just a caricature of what he thinks women are.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like
sexualized.
River and all, but like, she is written in a very... She is written by, like... Yeah, she is written by Moffat. There's no way around it.
Then you have just an ordinary girl, which is Clara, and she's boring. She's boring as fuck. She literally is a plot device.
Yeah.
She can change on a whim from episode to episode. Like, I'm sure if you watch it and just put out of your mind that, okay, yeah, that she looks the same... it's like, in Nightmare in Silver, she takes charge, but she has none of those attributes beforehand. They try to introduce all these things like, yeah, she's a control freak and all that, when literally she has not showed any attributes of that. Once she loses the whole, okay, so she's the mysterious girl and all of that, she's got nothing.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, she's a fucking school teacher, despite... You know, the only thing she's done is, you know, a nanny. Like, you know, that's a problem for me, is the jump between Name of the Doctor and then Day. You'll get more on that.
I mean, again, Clara is another character that I kind of like, but, yeah, I do see a lot of problems with the way that she's written.
I think mainly I just... like Jenna more than I necessarily like Clara.
Yeah, Jenna's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if what I thought about Clara...
Clara's okay.
Yeah. If what I thought about Clara would go towards Jenna, I would hate that woman with a passion. Because I cannot stand Clara at all. But anyway, so, yeah, that's my favorite part of the story.
What story were we talking about?
Rise of the Cybermen.
That's it.
Moving on to Age of Steel, really doesn't have that much elements. In fact, I think I might want to go back and change my answer. Rise of the Cybermen is probably the better part. Actually, it has a bit more going on. Oh, okay, I changed my answer for funniest scene. It's when... The Lion Sleeps Tonight plays. I cannot hear that song now without thinking about Cybermen. And that one dream I had, but we won't get into that.
No, we won't. We will not get into that at all.
Never.
Keep that away.
Yeah. So, I'm changing my answer to that. Rise of the Cybermen... sorry, Age of Steel I can't say much about because it doesn't have a lot going on. Although I'd probably say my favourite scene is when the Doctor, and I can't remember her name, the old lady that helps them, they're going down in the tunnels and they come across that Cyberman, and the Cyberman is, you know, talking to them, and it's like, oh, that's sad, because it's talking about, you know, it was a woman, and she was getting married that day, and, you know, it's kind of, it's why the Cybermen are like my favorite villains, because they have so much, you know, so much character.
That's mostly why in the last episode I was kind of being annoyed at the fact that 11 just wiped out that entire cyber fleet. Because those were all people once.
Yeah, but
I mean, they're not really people anymore.
But then it's also said
people.
Once they're Cybermen, nothing can be done.
Yeah.
Because Tennant does the same thing here.
Yeah.
And then Doomsday kind of just shits on that.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Because, you know,
why not? So yeah, I'd say that's probably my favourite scene, because that tells everything that the Cybermen are.
Yeah.
And just how deadly they can be. And, yeah. Plus, Mondasian Cybermen, I think it's okay to kill them, because they did it to themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, these ones, they're people who are literally being converted against their will. With Mondasian Cybermen, it's kind of sketchy. I mean, if you listen to the audio Spare Parts, which I totally recommend, it's like the origin story of the Cybermen. They weren't. Basically, they need to become Cybermen to survive. Because their planet is basically going to shit. So it's kind of, you know, like they're doing that to survive. So in a way, it's consensual, I guess. You can say that. But yeah, I'm not doing it justice. Go listen to Spare Parts.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
End of video.
So I guess, in a way, Mondasian Cybermen are a little bit more... I just think the Cybermen in the new series are kind of shit to begin with, even if they're Mondasian.
Yeah.
Because, I mean... they're just so much better in the classic series. I mean... the 10th Planet Cybermen, once you get past their voice, they're fucking creepy. I mean, the total lack of emotion. And with the new series Cybermen, you get a sense that these are robots. With the classic series, you get a sense that these were once people. Oh my god, these were once people. Especially with the 10th Planet ones, because you can see there's human elements in there.
Yeah.
And now it's just a brain in a suit. Who are literally able to dismember themselves at will. And that takes away a little bit of the creepiness factor.
Aside from the fact that, you know, they can detach parts from themselves.
No, I think that makes them worse. Because that literally makes them robots, and that's something they never were.
But still, it's funny.
But, yeah. That's
I
just the Cybermen.
I just like hands crawling around, it's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just forget those stories.
Yeah.
Moving on to the Idiot's Lantern. Funniest scene, any fucking scene with the Wire. She's horrible. Fuck off, Wire. That's also my biggest problem with it. The Wire. No, I'd probably say the funniest scene, and it's not even part of the episode. It's the blooper reel. When they're trying to do the shot where the Doctor first discovers Rose and she hasn't got her face and all of that, and just the scenes where they're trying to film that, and so David Tennant has to look all serious at her and all of this, and they just start laughing their asses off. That's my funniest scene. Best part.
You know an episode doesn't have any funny scenes when you have to go to the blooper reel for a funny scene.
Best scene? There is none. I mean, plain and simple, there's none.
Just put the word best near Idiot's Lantern. That's like an offense in some countries.
I can't even say it's the best worst episode because it isn't.
It's the worst episode.
Not
even that.
It wishes. Anyway, I don't know. We have just, I don't know.
We're not even talking about Series 2 anymore. We're just going through episodes.
I promise you Series 3 will be more interesting.
Series 3 will be a lot more.
This series didn't give me anything, so I'm not giving anything to it.
And it's like 5 a.m. right now, and we haven't slept.
Is it? Holy shit! I didn't realize it was that time. Oh well.
Okay.
Moving on to the Impossible Astronaut.
Yep.
Funniest scene? I can't remember much funny scenes from it, so I'm just gonna skip out.
What was the Impossible Astronaut?
Sorry, Impossible Planet. I always mess them two up. Impossible Astronaut is Series 6. Impossible Planet.
I was gonna say, I was like, what's that Series 6?
I'm sorry.
Aren't you getting a bit ahead of yourself?
I'm sorry.
Here?
I always
Unless
do
we
it.
just like time slipped.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I always do it. It's
future.
5 a.m. and we haven't had any sleep. Anyway.
And I haven't had any coffee.
No. Anyway, I'd say, I can't say anything funniest scene because I don't think there is one.
I can't say anything.
Biggest problem? I can't say anything. Best scene I've already said is when Toby is just on the planet and he just turns around and just like,
what up, guy?
Yeah. Freaky shit. That basically extends over to the Satan Pit. That episode is just freaky as fuck. The fucking Ood are terrifying. I can't name a funny scene, and I can't name a biggest problem. I just love that story.
Nice.
Oh god, Love and Monsters. Funniest scene, any scene with the absorbal off.
Get in my body.
Just because I like to pitch a fat bastard. Literally, they're the same people.
He's literally a fat bastard.
Why didn't you just get Mike Myers? I mean, go that one step further.
Yeah.
Biggest problem, I guess, all I can literally say is it's just a bad story. It's like, I don't know why it's bad, it's just, it gives off that bad vibe.
Yeah.
Plus, I think it's probably more or less just because it was the first Dr. Light story of the new series. I hate people who say it's the first Dr. Light story ever, because no, it isn't. There is literally a story in Classic Who that does not have the Doctor or the companions. Do your fucking research, guys.
Really?
Yes. It's a prequel to, it's like one 20-minute long episode, which was the standard length for episodes at that time, called Mission to the Unknown.
Yeah.
And it's basically a prequel to the Daleks' Master Plan.
Alright.
It came out it didn't come out, interestingly enough, it didn't come out before Daleks' Master Plan. It came out the episode before, which I can't remember what it was.
Right. Anyway.
So yeah, do your research.
Bitch.
Plus there were parts to, like episodes, not stories, but episodes where the Doctor wouldn't appear. It was mainly around the William Hartnell era, because there were a few times where he'd go on holiday, and back then filming pretty much took place like a few days before the episode aired or whatever. So there'd be times where he got injured, so they'd take him out of the script. So all of that, or he'd fall ill.
Yeah.
So there would be parts like that. So, strictly speaking, this isn't the first Doctor Light story. But I guess it just came out around that time and people weren't ready for it. Because then you have Blink, and people were all like, "Rah!" So I guess people just weren't ready for it, but then again, it's kind of bad. So, yeah. Best scene... I guess Elton isn't that bad of a character.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like he's bad at acting or any of that. I guess he can just get on the nerves a bit. But, whatever. Oh no, the biggest problem is the oral sex joke. Why is that in there? I do not want to picture anyone fucking a stone.
Because I don't know. I can't. I was about to say because, and then say a reason, and then I realized no, there is no fucking reason.
The only Stone that is even acceptable to have a sexual relation with is Emma Stone.
Or the Thing.
I'm looking at you, Miles. Anyway, if you're blind, yeah.
If you're blind or stretch really far.
The guy doesn't have any kind of... Like, he doesn't have a butthole, from what I could tell.
He does have a mouth.
He has a mouth, yeah, okay.
Which works the same way as the oral sex in this story.
That's weird, though. I mean, that's the biggest problem here.
But anyway,
definitely.
I would say my favorite, not really my favorite part, like, bit in the episode, but my favorite part of the episode is the fact that it was an episode created so they could incorporate a monster made by a fan, and I just think that's really cool, because the kid got to see the Absorbaloff costume, and despite the fact that it probably terrified the fuck out of him, it must have been awesome for him to see his drawing come to life.
Although, now probably think about it, that kid is like the modern-day Jake Lloyd now, where Jake Lloyd, the actor who played Anakin Skywalker in Episode 1, where the experience of him being in that movie and the movie being critically torn apart, and him being critically torn apart from the movie, literally turned him into pretty much a psychotic guy.
Oh, yeah.
It scarred him for life.
Amazing.
So this kid is now probably the one reason this episode exists, and the sole blame. Probably.
Yeah.
So
that and the people who let him win the competition.
Yeah. I want to see the other entries. How bad must they have been if the Absorbaloff won?
Yeah.
The Absorbaloff should not have been allowed to win because the kid drew it as like 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anyway. I'd say, I guess my favorite scene is it gave a look, or well, my favorite thing about the episode is it gave us a look at how the Doctor affects not the companions, just everyday people.
Yeah.
We got to see the events of Rose told from someone else's point of view, not the main characters, just a regular person. We got to see the Christmas invasion events and how it affected him. He couldn't even get out of bed that morning.
Paul, would you get out of bed that morning?
No, I didn't get out of bed any morning.
Would you?
I'm going to bed in the morning. So exactly,
you wouldn't have gone to bed.
I go to bed in the morning.
I don't get out of bed. I'm in bed right now.
He sleeps on my couch all the time.
I do.
No. Yeah, in case you guys haven't told, we're in a new setting. Testing it out.
Probably won't stay.
Probably. I can't be fucked moving a chair into my bedroom every time. My bedroom's a mess, guys, basically. So yeah,
well,
that's what I'd say.
Not as much as a mess as my bedroom, but no.
Yeah.
Done.
Fear Her. The whole episode claims to be for children, yet
terrifying as shit.
Yet has an element that is not for kids whatsoever. You know, So no, the guy who wrote it has no defense for how bad this was. Shitty premise, shitty acting on the part of the child, shitty acting on the part of most involved with it. I don't have a funny scene, I don't have a best moment.
I mean,
despicable.
For me, it is like it's still an unsettling story. Like the episode does kind of like give me chills or whatever, but like
a little bit,
but that doesn't mean it's good.
It comes down to a stupid premise.
Yeah.
That probably should never have been attempted.
Yeah.
So.
But really the payoff, which is to see David Tennant run down with the Olympic torch and light the flame. That payoff is good enough that I would sit through that episode just to see that.
Well then. Moving on to Army of Ghosts. I'd say my biggest problem with it is the way it starts, with the whole, this is the story of how I died thing. Whether misleading or true, I always hate that. It's a massive problem I have with Arkham Knight, where in all of the ads, it's all like, this is the story of how Batman died. In the beginning of the game, I think they say that. The collector's edition, at the bottom of the statue, it literally says, in memory of the Gotham Knight. On the box, it says, in memory of the Gotham Knight. I haven't played through the whole game to find out whether he lives or dies. Again, I always talk about Arkham Knight in some video.
Yep.
They'll return it sometime.
No, they won't.
No, they won't. Ever. I don't
Fuck's
know.
Arkham Knight.
But stuff like that.
It's funny when it's used like entangled. I like it because it actually is the story of how Flynn Rider died, because then he gets resurrected at the end. But anyway, spoilers if you haven't seen Tangled.
Well, no, you just not much point now, is there? The one thing that guy did in the Arkham when he spoiled Arkham Knight for me, and you just did it.
Shit.
For them. Nice going. That was like literally had nothing to do with...
Oh, well, it's a Disney movie. You know it's going to have a happy ending. Doesn't matter.
Anyway. Well, not if you're a villain.
Not if you're a villain,
Anyway, so... I never like it when they do that. Because it always pisses me off whether the statement is true or false. Yeah, I'd say that's probably my biggest problem with Army of Ghosts.
Yep.
Funniest scene? I guess when the Doctor reaches into the TARDIS thinking he's pulling out Rose, but he pulls Jackie out, and then has to come up with like, oh, she looked into the heart of the TARDIS and aged her 50 years. But yeah. Yeah, I'd probably say that. Best part, I think it is the oh shit ending when the Daleks come out.
Yeah.
I remember watching that and being all like, holy fucking shit!
Yeah.
Except not quite that, because I was however old I was.
I probably would have still said that. 8. I was a mouthy little prick.
I want to say I was 8.
8!
Well, let's see. I'm trying to do this math now. 19 now, and it's
well, apparently you were 8!
Back then, 10 years into 2005, I was 9. No, I was 10.
Really?
Yes. 2006, 10. Yes.
Right.
Yeah!
Didn't the episode air in 2007 though?
No.
No, okay.
2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just late 2006.
Yeah.
Because we used to get, it would have been like, because around that time we got episodes a few months after the UK and stuff.
Maybe. Anyway.
Moving on. Again.
Yeah. So, going on to Doomsday. Funniest scene, even though I hate it to bits, the interaction between the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Just...
the sassiness,
just
which...
piss-taking.
The dialogue makes me laugh, but the fact that it's coming from... It's the same problem I have with Ultron.
Yeah.
The dialogue made me laugh, it's just the problem it came from Ultron.
Yeah.
Which it shouldn't. This dialogue is coming from Cybermen and Daleks. No. No! That pisses me off, honestly, more than the fact that the Cybermen got obliterated. Because that's realistic. In no way, shape, or form would the Cybermen and a Dalek ever get into any kind of altercation like they did. At all. Ugh! That's what frustrates me. Best part, Rose left. Except not for good.
I think the funniest part is, like, it's not really a funny part in the episode. It's like, it's kind of an upsetting part in the episode still for me, even with my indifference to Rose. But, it's just really the part where, 10 just leans up against the wall and just like, just because I always make jokes about it all the time, like every time something happens or something that's relevant to that, I always just go up to a wall and just go. You've seen this firsthand.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, everyone who knows me well has seen this firsthand. It's great.
So
it's always good. It's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Good
so
thing.
okay. One thing we're also going to introduce into this video, there's a reason it wasn't placed in the first one, and you'll know why. We're going to do a little season versus season thing.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, season 1 versus season 2, who wins?
Season 1.
Season 1, hands down. Opening episode of season 1, Rose.
Yep.
Versus the official opening of season 2, which we'll just say is New Earth.
Rose.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd go New Earth for that one.
No, wait, hang on. No, New Earth.
New Earth. Okay. Finales. Which one wins?
Season 1.
Yeah. I agree with that one.
Because season 1 just had the regeneration. The regeneration's heart-wrenching, and it hurts my face to watch.
Alrighty.
I don't know why it hurts my face. Should hurt my heart, but it hurts my face.
Alright. Ranking the various different TARDIS crews of Series 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 9 and Rose, 9 Rose and Adam, 9 Rose and Jack.
Are we really counting them? Are we really counting them?
No, well, yeah, he was technically a companion. He is... No, he is counted as a companion. Yep. Then we go to the TARDIS crew from Series 2, which is just 10 and Rose, and then 10 Rose and Mickey.
I don't know, I like 10 Rose and Mickey.
Yeah, I did. I think it was a little short-lived, but I say Series 1 wins just because of 9 Rose and Jack.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Just the three-way banter's so funny.
It is. And plus... I mean, you can definitely tell there's a romance kind of deal between Rose and 9. I don't mind it for some reason as much as 10 and Rose for some reason. Maybe because it's not, like, intense.
Yeah. It's just...
9 and Rose isn't
it's just
intense.
kind of subtle.
Kind of subtle.
It's not right in your face.
Maybe it's more of a he likes her more than she necessarily likes him kind of deal. Because...
Yeah.
Really, when you look at all the things 9 went through, or at that point, the War Doctor went through, and then 9's now dealing with it.
Yeah.
Rose kind of comes to him and, kind of like, helps him through it without her even knowing that. So, now we're going to... which one wins in terms of season arc? Bad Wolf versus Torchwood.
Oh,
in terms of the build-up? Yeah. In terms of the build-up and the payoff?
Bad Wolf will honestly always be one of my favorite plot lines.
Bad Wolf definitely wins just because, it was more relevant to the story.
Yeah.
It actually tied it. Torchwood just got mentioned here and there, and then it just kind of was like, we're Torchwood. We're an institute. We're irrelevant now.
Yep.
We got a show.
We're irrelevant now.
That's it. So
we got a show. We got 2 miniseries. Yay!
So yeah, that's something that we will come back to as well in the next part. We'll be pitching season 3 versus season 2.
Yep.
And potentially versus series 1 as well, how it stacks up. Now moving on to the topic or topics of the week. Last show, we stated we were going to look at companions, or the TARDIS crew. We're instead taking a look at the companion departures. The main 4. Would you like to start us off with your number 4?
Okay. My number 4 was, of course, Rose.
Rose?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of an upsetting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ken's cut off before he can say the one thing he'd really wanted to say to Rose for a while, and it's like, oh, it's upsetting. And it's like, you feel for both of them. And it is a very upsetting scene.
Yeah.
And it's done really well. It's acted really well. I love them both. And yeah, but it doesn't really break my top 3.
Yeah.
So.
No. My number 4 is Martha.
Mm-hmm.
Because I cannot stand Martha. That is mainly just a combination of the fact that her and Ten from this season. Ten is at his worst in this season. He's so fucking mopey. Everything is, Rose this, Rose that, Rose would know. And the fact that, I mean, Martha didn't even have to have a crush on the Doctor for her to feel jealous. The fact that, she loves the Doctor now is just kind of shitty. They never really knew what they wanted to do with Martha. And then she gives it up because, the only reason she was even traveling with him was because she had feelings. She didn't want to see all of these things, help all of these people. All she cared about, the Doctor doesn't want to get inside me. I'm out.
Okay.
That's the reason I cannot stand it. It's like, he doesn't love me. I'm out. And that was it. Like, come on!
I think I might change up my order and go back to what it was originally going to be. And number 3 will be Martha.
Okay.
I mean, I love Martha. She's great. She's funny and stuff, and she has banter with the Doctor and stuff. She has banter with Jack when Jack comes in.
Everyone does.
Everyone has banter with Jack, and I love that. It's like that. No one doesn't have banter with Jack. Even in Torchwood, everyone has banter with Jack.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Martha's great. Like in the last 2 episodes, she really does like become the Doctor, kind of. It's really cool. I just love Martha. Okay,
yeah.
She's important.
I do think what she went through at the end was good. It's just, she's all like, don't want to do this anymore just because you won't love me. It's like, okay, whatever. Anyway,
I think it's more she realized that he won't love her, and she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna move on now.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You're giving up saving all these lives and all of that just for the main reason of you won't love me. Like, if she had said, I need to be with my family, which I think is what she originally says. She walks out and then goes back in and says,
right,
all of the stuff she does. I would have been fine. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But then they had to do that, I'm only going because you won't love me, ever, thing. And that's just...
Anyway, moving on.
Number 3 is Rose, and that just comes down to the fact I don't like her as a character. The only reason Martha beats her out is because I kind of liked Martha a little bit, just the tiniest, but then that kind of shat on everything that was being built up. I was like really liking Martha, and then it's like it takes that nosedive. Yeah. Then when she shows up again, I'm like, yeah, okay, she's cool. And then out of nowhere, she's married to Mickey, which is like, what? Okay.
They're marrying off to Black Eric.
Again, is all like, okay, they still don't know what to do with Martha.
Anyway.
But,
That's my number 2.
Oh, I'm just finishing up with Rose. Just comes down to
the
the
fact... Oh, you were
checking
your sheet. Number 2.
No, I just don't like the character. That's what it comes down to. Plus the fact it's an emotional ending, but then it's rendered useless when she comes back. If she had died, that would have been fine. Because, I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of companion deaths. At least meaningful ones. The first companion death was Katarina in the Daleks' Master Plan, and she was only introduced in the story before, which I always forget. I think it might be the Mythmakers, I could be wrong, but she literally dies in the next story. The next companion death was Katarina. No, sorry, not Katarina, sorry, Sarah Kingdom, who was also introduced in Daleks' Master Plan and dies in Daleks' Master Plan. And then, to my knowledge, the next one is Adric, which no one likes Adric. I'm pretty sure they only killed him off because no one likes Adric. It's like Jason Todd here. You know, they killed Jason Todd off in the comics because no one liked Jason Todd.
And then he becomes Red Hood.
Everyone loves Jason Todd. So I feel like companion deaths pretty much only come round whenever, like, you know, people don't really like the companion or whatever, or it's with either an unlikable companion or they always plan to do that.
Yeah.
I feel, personally, that's the way Clara needs to go now. They have worked themselves into a corner where she has left so many times. The only way is death. I was
really satisfied with the ending for the Christmas special.
For last Christmas.
I was like...
I believed that.
I was like...
For a second. I was like, no way. Because, obviously, leading up to the build-up, leading up to the episode, everyone was, you know, saying, oh, is she going to go? Because at that point, she was saying, you know, you'll just have to see. Apparently, she was planning to and was somehow managed to convinced to stay. But they had filmed that ending just in case. And that was going to be the ending.
God!
I wish that was, because that actually made me cry.
That was a really great ending.
The callback to Time of the Doctor, but with the roles reversed.
It would have been the perfect send-off.
That actually would have been. That would have made me feel for the character of Clara.
But no, they had to just bring her back.
You know, that would probably be number 1 or number 2 on my list of companion departures.
That would literally be number 1 on my list.
Like...
Because it was just so perfect.
They royally fucked it up.
And then they fucked it up. It's like, you can't come back from that, I'm sorry.
Right now, she went to leave in deep breath, but 11 managed to convince her to stay. 12 never would have been able to. If 11 didn't do that, she'd be gone. Damn you, 11. She left at the end of Kill the Moon.
Yep.
And then came back. Then she left at the end of frickin' Death in Heaven.
And then came back.
And then came back. That's 3 times.
That just...
She's gone. And that's in 1 season.
Yeah. It's worse than Atlantis.
The only way that I will accept her leaving is death. That's the only way she can go now.
Well,
they have written themselves...
After fucking up that ending, I would... literally not complain if she died.
Yeah, no.
Again, I like Clara, but again, if she died, I would be satisfied. If she didn't,
that's the only way.
If she doesn't die, then or leaves the Doctor on bad terms, even.
No, she could leave in any way she wants, but if it's not death, I'm calling myself unsatisfied.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on to your number 2.
My number 2 is Amy and Rory.
Amy and Rory.
This really hit me.
Yep.
When I first saw it. It was like, because I really liked Amy and Rory.
I preferred Rory just because I thought he was a better rounded character.
Like, I liked them together. Separately, they made me kind of iffy. But together they were just really, they were really coupley and stuff.
Rory was never really alone. Plus, when he was alone for like 2,000 years, you know, he goes through a lot more than Amy does.
But still, anyway. I love them together. Separately, they were kind of iffy, but together they were just great.
Yeah.
I mean, if one had left and then the other stayed, I would not have been happy. Like, as soon as Rory was zapped away by the Angel, I was like, no!
Yeah.
Rory! What's Amy gonna do now?
Yeah.
And I feel like if it had been Amy that had gone first, I still would have gone, no!
Yeah.
What's Rory gonna do now?
I'd love to have seen that. Oh my god.
Friggin', yeah, when Rory was zapped away, I thought it was gonna be Amy and the Doctor for the rest of the season. And then I'm glad that they had that really sad, tear-jerking, dramatic send-off.
Yeah.
And it was, I still cry every time I watch it. I'm probably gonna rewatch it when I get home.
Probably.
Of course, after rewatching a bunch of Series 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a really tear-jerking, fucking sad thing. And the saddest part is the Doctor cannot go find them.
Yeah, no.
Like, he remembers everything, they remember everything, but they can't...
Yeah, exactly.
Physically, they can't find him, he can't find them.
My number 2 is exactly the same, Amy and Rory. There is the issue that a lot of people bring up. It's like, why doesn't the Doctor just go to somewhere outside New York and they meet up? I think mainly because the Doctor makes it very clear they're creating fixed time.
Yeah.
It's not a fixed point in time. It's fixed time, which means I'm pretty sure they have to be there.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling at straws here. Like, I don't know. I think what makes it more powerful is the fact that the Doctor's reaction to it. It, you know, and Rory kind of gets screwed in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't get an emotional goodbye.
He just gets zapped away.
I guess the bit when they first originally think they're going to sacrifice themselves, when he's on top of the building, you know, that's kind of his goodbye.
Yeah.
But then it's just kind of, you know, they're all fine. Maybe if the Angel had a grip on him, like around the neck, and there was no way out.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, the only way we can do this is if you look away. There's no way to get out of it, or whatever.
Yeah, and then look away, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amy never would have done it, but then maybe something distracts them. Or maybe they're like, we'll get you out, and then Rory's like, you won't, or something like that, and then something distracts them, and then Rory's gone. That would have it's just the thing that annoys me about it is Rory gets kind of squat.
Yeah. And
that's something I always think, you know, is why does Amy get all of this stuff, but then Rory gets squat?
Because Amy's known the Doctor the longest.
She's
probably the main focus.
Just in terms of not just this story, but most of the other stories.
Yeah, Rory does seem to get the short end of the shtick, but then again, he was brought in as pretty much just the companion's boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's pretty much White Mickey.
Yeah, pretty much. But
except
then he grows
without the receipts, and he doesn't sneeze whenever Amy flirts with someone else.
The reason, well, mainly because Amy never really flirted with anyone else.
Aside from the Doctor that one time.
Yeah.
Rory probably sneezed then, but he probably had a cold or something.
But, and that's the thing why I tend to like the males more. It's not like, you know, I'm a male, kind of thing. It's because they actually have a lot more character progression. Kind of like, I think the only really real thing that Amy ever progresses is she likes the Doctor, then she doesn't. That's kind of it. Even when she becomes a mother, she doesn't really change much. Then she gets a divorce with Rory.
Yeah, the divorce comes out of nowhere. It's like, why are they getting divorced? Is that just so we can have this scene? Okay.
Yeah, and that's probably why Series 7A was total shit for me. But yeah, so departure was really emotional.
All the sads.
Yeah. So of course, number 1, Donna Noble.
But they...
She is my favourite new series companion, as I've stated before. And I think what makes this more emotional than necessarily death is the fact that she had all of these memories with the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And she had to give them up to survive.
And she can't ever remember them.
No.
So the Doctor can't ever go see her.
No, I know. And I know it might not seem it, but that is a lot more painful than all these companions who had those memories and they can't see the Doctor ever again.
Yeah.
Because, in that brief moment where the Doctor reaches for her, she, what must go through her mind? I'm tearing up just thinking about this.
Yeah.
The line of dialogue that always gets me is, "We had the best of times." I'm like, no!
Fuck off!
Oh, it's so emotional. And then, it comes in such a shit episode, because I hate that episode. And I hate the Meta-Crisis Doctor and all of that, but that is just fantastic. It's so emotionally damaging. And what's even more emotionally damaging is I read a fanfic where the Doctor visits old Donna, who's about to die.
It's not really a fanfic, that's more of a headcanon.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway. And gives her the memories back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm done. I am done with fanfics.
That's also kind of annoying because, the Doctor does say if she ever regained those memories, she would be in burning pain.
She would die.
Yeah. But, so he's giving those memories back to her on her deathbed. She's dying a very painful death.
Well, I think it's more or less her mind would burn out and she'd die and it would be quick, but she'd remember. But then, end of fucking time shits on that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you really think I would leave my best friend without a defense mechanism? And it's like, that's kind of cool, I guess. But
no, I like to think that... It
still shits on it.
No.
It does shit on it.
Yeah, I just like to forget that happened. Because this scene is
Forget what happened.
I just realised what I did then. It's topical. No. But, yeah, this is without a doubt the best companion departure maybe of all time. I have to watch all the other companion departures, but this is just emotionally damaging.
Yeah.
And I don't think anything could ever beat it, ever.
Nothing.
So, yeah, actually, a similar thing kind of happens to Jamie McCrimmon and Zoe Herriot in the Second Doctor's stories. When the Second Doctor is caught by the Time Lords, they send Jamie and Zoe home.
Yep.
They have no knowledge of all of the things that have just happened with the Doctor. The only thing they can remember is the first time they met him. So what had just transpired, and they can't remember leaving with the Doctor and all the adventures they'd had. And that kind of is a mishmash of Amy and Rory's ending and Donna's ending, because Zoe gets this brief moment where she's gazing off and then she snaps out of it, but then Jamie doesn't get that. Jamie's just straight back into the war that he's in. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
Right.
But it's not nowhere near as emotionally damaging as it is here.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's our list of companion departures. Moving on to a little bonus
round.
And that
I almost went into the Mortal Kombat theme, but it's okay. We're not going to get done for copyright.
And what is it, Tim?
Wasn't it?
You can't even remember.
I can't. It's
You didn't have to forget that much.
Nearly 6 a.m.
The Doctor Regenerations.
That's it. I wanted to say that.
The main ones, the main three. What have you picked for the third spot?
Third spot. Third spot is 9.
9 to 10?
Yeah, 9 to 10. Like, I love that regeneration. His little speech. I always love speeches before regenerations. I don't know why. I just love them. So yeah, like, watching the season, you don't really get to feel that, oh, he's gonna regenerate at the end of the season. It's just like it very much comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And like that's part of the really good thing about it. Like it doesn't really build up to it.
Yeah.
But then it just comes out of nowhere. Like, oh, he's regenerating.
And that is regeneration.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But yeah, it's just but the regeneration itself is just not my favorite thing.
Yeah. All right. So number 3 for me is 10 to 11.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because he knew it was coming. He was told it's coming and all of that, and he still acts like a child when it's happening.
Mm.
For that, I lost respect for the 10th Doctor. You know, I mean, Wilf is willing to make the sacrifice and then 10 acts like a child about it.
Mm.
I mean, you know, plus how he managed to survive falling through that roof, I'll never know. Because the 4th Doctor fell...
Doctor Who.
The 4th Doctor fell a less distance and regenerated.
Mm.
So why didn't 10? It's really weird. It's really fucking weird. But I mean, you know, and for him to die, like to hold it off for however long he did, it's just no. If he had I always picture this in my mind when he falls down inside the container thing and like goes like that. It would have been so much better if he comes up and he's Matt Smith.
Mm.
And I always picture that, and I can't get it out of my head because it would have been so much better. Instead, you get this soppy-ass scene where he goes around and does all of this shit, where he visits all his past companions, and it's kind of bullshit. Because... especially that this is a form of regeneration that we've seen the Doctor die from before, which is radiation. We've seen the 3rd Doctor...
Again, you're talking about continuity for Doctor Who.
Yeah, but still, I'm just saying that...
I'm just saying, continuity in Doctor Who doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know, but like, the fact that, you know, he's the Doctor who gets to go back and visit all of these people while regenerating, it's like, no, I can't really suspend my disbelief enough for that. Like, you know, once you, like, when you hold off regeneration, you die.
Yeah.
The Master. It happened to him. He's holding off regeneration.
And he died.
And
he gets back.
And he just regenerated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2 is 10 to 11. Like just pretty much opposite reasons why I like 9's regeneration. Like there was build up. There was a lot of build up.
Yeah. 10
knows he's gonna die, and he's like, you know, I'm just gonna live it up. I'm just gonna fucking live it up until it happens. Like, yeah, I don't want it to happen, but I'm gonna live it up until it does. And then when it does happen, he's just like, oh, fuck, it's happening. And he gets really stressed out about it, and I think that's just really real. Like, a lot of people do fear death.
Yeah.
And, like, he knows that he will regenerate and become another person, but that version of him will die.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think that something about 10's death or regeneration, whatever. Let's just call it a death. Let's call it what it is. Like, Ten's death just hits home because it's just so real.
Well,
for me, anyway.
For me, being a classic series fan who has seen every Regeneration story, just about, I think, none of the Doctors act that way. The only exception being the second Doctor, but that's because he was literally put on trial and sentenced to regeneration and exiled to Earth, so noticeably he was a bit iffy on the whole idea. But then you get this incarnation who stands out from the rest because he is such a mopey bitch about it. He's being a little kid, and I gave my reason why he might have been acting like that, but that's a case of I don't even believe my own bullshit. Like, if he had stated in the episode that, you know, he's been through it before, he remembers what it's like, I would have been like, okay, yeah. But half the reason when I think I explain this stuff, it's just me explaining it and really not making much sense about it. And when I try and have to sit down and think of all of these reasons why they're doing it, they've failed in my mind. One big thing was, of course, Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Why is Doctor Doom not using his powers on them?
But yeah, just Ten's death is just real. Okay? Yeah. It hurts.
So, number 2...
Everything hurts and nothing is okay.
Number 2 for me is 9 to 10, because it sums up what, in essence, a regeneration is, in my opinion. It's not death. It's just becoming something different. You know, you've had your time, now it's time to move on, but you're still going. You know? It's just like a different chapter of a book, really.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, if more Doctors had reacted that way, maybe, okay, yeah, fine. But the fact that all of them just kind of embrace their time is up, it makes Tennant stand out like a mopey bitch. And this, you know, his joking is like, you know, not this face. I might not have a face. I might not have a head. You know, imagine me with no head. And don't say that's an improvement. You know, and just the final sum up, you know, you were fantastic, and you know what, so was I.
Yeah.
It's just emotional.
It is a really good regeneration.
It is, and it not just... I think a regeneration shouldn't just sum up what regeneration is supposed to be, but it should sum up what that Doctor was.
Yeah.
And for Colin Baker, that's unconscious. And being replaced. But, you know, when I think about Tennant, I don't like to think mopey bitch. Like he was in Series 3. And like he was in the specials. But I like to think like Series 4. You know, when he's having the time of his life with Donna Noble, his best friend. And, you know, he can be sad, yeah, because, you know, I personally, like, I think if I had Rose, or the kind of relationship the Doctor had with Rose, and then I lost Rose, and then I had the kind of relationship I had with Donna, I'd be more cut up about the relationship with Donna, because I think that was a much stronger friendship. Because, I don't know, I just like that friendship a lot more. So, for him to be sad throughout the specials, I kind of get. But then sad about regenerating, and, I don't know. Just, I love the 9 to 10 regeneration.
Yeah.
That, of course, leads us to 11 to 12. The Doctor sensed that someone was flirting with someone else and sneezed and regenerated. The sneeze regeneration, as it's referred to, which appears to piss a lot of people off.
Yep.
Me, not so much. I mean, you know, he's literally regenerating through that entire scene.
Yeah.
Or he has regenerated, and it's just kicking in. But, we get this big grand spectacle, him on the the bell tower,
Mm.
and Moffat stealing my fan film ideas.
Yeah.
But he's running around, he's regenerating, and then boom, massive big explosion. Everything gets evaporated. I've heard different things as to what happened. Like, you know, apparently that scene was filmed a lot of times with a lot of different endings, according to Matt Smith. I mean, yeah. Who knows? He was regenerating. He doesn't know. But I really want to see how it could have ended up. Because I believe one was he regenerates and then falls from the tower.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I mean, that's what I like to think happened. He regenerated, fell from the tower, and then made his way to the TARDIS. Obviously, we know from Deep Breath he made the phone call to Clara, but got changed first.
Yeah.
Because he's in that gear. So, we get that, and then Clara enters the TARDIS. We see the boots walking up, and it's young Matt Smith. Which, when I saw that, I'm like, what? Okay.
I felt kind of cheated.
I didn't, because...
Like, I felt cheated, and then I realized, no, it's okay.
Yeah. I was kind of with people on the internet that if Matt Smith regenerated as an old man, it wouldn't feel right. Because, you know, it'd kind of be weird.
Yeah, it would.
To regenerate a Doctor when he doesn't look like himself would be kind of weird. I felt the way they explained it was, you know, kind of pulling at straws, but...
But, you know, that's Doctor Who.
It kind of worked, yeah. Then I'm not going to lie, this is probably my favourite regeneration scene of all time. It's sad, but it's not sad. Like,
it's
Tennant's tried to be. Tennant's was trying to be sad.
Yeah.
This one was like, I'm emotionally devastated.
This one wasn't trying to be like, we're gonna make you cry sad. It was more like, we're gonna say all this stuff, and if you cry, then hey, that's cool. Yeah.
Sadly, literally before the thing started, I was spoiled for the end of it. I read somewhere online, you know, Karen Gillan in thing, you know, Amy Pond shows. I'm like, shit!
Yeah.
But I didn't know to what extent. So that made me think that when the TARDIS showed up, somehow Amy was flying it. I don't know how. I'm like, no, okay, because this is just my mind. When I hear something, I'm like, oh, how's it going to show up? Yeah. Like in Listen, I heard Gallifrey was at the end. I was pissed, but I'm like, oh, how's that going to work into it? So we just get this massive emotional speech from Matt Smith.
Yep.
And then Amy, at this point I was crying. I could not handle it. Then the sneeze regeneration, and we get Capaldi.
We get angry brows. We get Mr. Eyebrows.
Noticeably longer hair than when we see him next, which is weird.
He got it all burnt off from the volcano erupting that killed the dinosaurs. I don't know.
Anyway,
but yeah,
no, Adric killed the dinosaurs.
That. He cut his hair. He was like.
Anyway.
He was like, Strax, fly the TARDIS while I cut my hair.
Anyway, really funny after that, but so emotional. That speech isn't quite my favourite. I still think the Rings of Akaten speech gets me right in the feels.
Yeah.
That is just one of the best speeches of all time. But this scene is just damaging.
It's like, if you want to show people how devastating Doctor Who can be, show them that. They'll get spoiled, but show them that.
I still think they probably could have tried to do something a bit different with young Amelia running around.
Like, you know, actually get Caitlin in to do it.
Yeah.
Caitlin, That's her name, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, get Caitlin in to do it. Like, what
I presume
the
only reason is she's probably aged considerably, like much older. But just don't show, like, just get a kid there, run her on set, but just don't show the face.
Yeah. Because the face is noticeably different.
Plus, the hair was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what? Anyway, that took me out of it a little bit. But just the whole imagination.
It still gets me every time I see Amy just like, Raggedy Man.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I'm all like...
And just to make it just that little bit less damaging for myself, I always just think of them whispering, "Nice wig."
Yeah. Yes.
Nice wig.
You too. Just brilliant.
In case you didn't know, they were both wearing wigs
for
those, because they had shaved their heads for roles. Karen Gillan for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Matt Smith for that
Look at My
movie,
Muscles.
Look at My Muscles.
I didn't even think that came out, so...
Didn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway,
Look at My Muscles, what?
We got a little bit of time, so he won't be involved with this conversation unless he wants to interject himself.
Okay.
But talking about these, I kind of want to go back. I might do this at the end of each episode.
Okay.
I want to talk a little bit of classic.
Yep.
And I want to go back and talk about the Regenerations that we've seen in the past, considering I've seen pretty much every Regeneration story. Not in my favourite to least favourite, because I can't really think of it now. Just, thing. And, of course, the first one was the first Doctor, William Hartnell, in the 10th Planet. The 10th Planet being the first time we see the Cybermen. And he regenerates due to old age. It's really surreal watching this scene for the first time. Or watching this episode for the first time and seeing it. William Hartnell's in pretty much the first 2 episodes, and then because of his illness he's not in the 3rd. But then comes back like at the end of the 4th, and then regenerates. And it's kind of surreal watching it. Because, trying to be in a mindset of this would be the first time anyone saw a regeneration, people would have been flipping. I mean, it's so surreal watching this, and it's kind of emotional at the same time, because, he just collapses, and I mean, what must have been going through people's minds, like, would have been shocking. But, yeah, and then,
Bill's died on set!
We get, for the first 2 Regenerations, the Doctor's passed out, he's not awake, he just regenerates, and then it's a close-up of Patrick Troughton's face. And that's it. Pretty much the effect is literally just the TARDIS and then a white light, and then, boom, that's it. Then
wasn't the explanation for the original Regeneration that he got a new body thanks to the TARDIS saving
I
him
believe
or something?
so.
Yeah.
It's not said in the story, I think. Rejuvenation, that's what it is supposed to be.
Yep.
The term regeneration, I believe, was not used until Planet of the Spiders, which is the 3rd Doctor Regeneration. Even more interesting, Gallifrey, the planet named Gallifrey was not mentioned until, I believe, the Time Warrior, which we'd actually visited the planet twice at that point, I'm pretty sure. So then we get the War Games, which is a 10-part story, yet I find it more interesting than most New Who stories. It doesn't feel like a 10-part story. I was able to sit through and watch it all in one sitting, which is mostly I can't do for most classic stories. I have to kind of pause and take a break, but with this I was able to sit all the way through. It's a phenomenal story, one of the best. Patrick Troughton is incredible. He's an incredible Doctor, and I think it's sad that he gets lost in the scuffle, I guess. A lot of people think, ooh, black and white. most of his stories are missing. I'll just skip him over. And that's kind of sad, because he's terrific. He's phenomenal. Anyone who loves Matt Smith needs to watch Patrick Troughton, because they're very similar. And
if not just for the way Patrick Troughton runs.
Yes, that is always good.
I've only ever seen one episode of Patrick Troughton, and it wasn't even a Patrick Troughton episode at the time. Patrick Troughton wasn't the actual doctor.
Yeah,
but yeah, the way he runs is just it's
great.
It's beautiful.
It's fantastic, and
it would make an Italian smile. I don't know why that's a term that I used, but yeah, it would make an Italian smile.
Then ultimately the decision he has to come to is, I can save all these people, but I need to call the Time Lords to do it. He does it, tries to run away from them, but it doesn't work. They put him on trial and exile him to Earth and force a regeneration, which we get a hilarious scene where they're like, you can choose your face, and they show a bunch of faces like, oh, he's too old, he's too young, he's too fat, isn't he? Oh, he's too skinny. It's just awesome. Then we get, a really interesting scene, I guess, where the Doctor is spun through space, and we don't actually see the physical regeneration. All we see is him flung in to the vortex. It ends, and then the first time we see Jon Pertwee is in Spearhead from space. The TARDIS lands, and he falls out of it. And that's it. So I guess in regeneration terms, it's not really sad or anything. It's just surreal, which the first two really were. They were just kind of more of a surreal experience as opposed to this is sad. But then we come to Planet of the Spiders, and that is sad. We get the Doctor takes the crystal back to Metabilis 3, and he's in the cave, and some radiation happens. I don't know. I can't quite remember. And then we get back at Unit. The Doctor has been missing for 2 weeks, I think, and then the TARDIS lands. I presume he travelled through time to get to there, and lands, comes out of the TARDIS, falls, and he is so near death that I can't remember his name, but he was the Doctor's mentor, has to help him to regenerate. So we get this kind of... Actually, I believe he even dies. The Doctor gives a little speech to Sarah Jane about conquering his fears, and he dies. Then his mentor shows up, pushes the regeneration, and he regenerates into the Fourth Doctor. Still unconscious, nothing there, but then we get Robot, which is hilarious. Everyone watch the first episode of Robot. It's not a particularly good story, but just watch the first episode for Tom Baker and his antics. Which then gives us the end of Tom Baker's long 7-year run. Thankfully, because his last seasons were quite dreadful. And it's fairly emotional. He battles the Master on top of a radio telescope and falls from it, which I guess really would probably be the most violent of his regenerations, except I guess for the TV movie. But then again, that was... yeah. So he falls from that, lands on the ground, I presume breaks quite a few bones, yet is still managed to move his arm. Anyway, he dies surrounded by his good friends, Nyssa, Tegan, who he just met, and by the dreadful Adric, which wasn't even his friend. I don't care. I don't know why Adric was even a thing. But that regeneration scene was quite heart-wrenching, I guess. You know, I mean, he is this actor who's, you know, probably for the most time is the most recognizable as Doctor Who. I mean, for a lot of people who would have been watching the show around that time, probably the only person they knew as the Doctor. I mean, you know, he's just iconic. A lot of people, when they think of the Doctor, they think the scarf, the hat, the big curly hair. That's it for them. And now it's just come to an end. The line, you know, the moment has come. Oh no, I can't remember the line. But the moment has been prepared for. I think that's it. God, I feel so foolish now. And then the Watcher, who's shown up throughout the whole episode of Legopolis and all of that. I mean, Legopolis is a pretty shitty story. Most of them were in Series 18. No, Season 18, not Series. And the Watcher was the Doctor all along. They kind of merged somehow and then turned into the Fifth Doctor, which is my least favourite Doctor of the main ones. I can't imagine watching Tom Baker and then going straight into Peter Davison. It must have been a bore, because I think he's quite boring. Then we get his regeneration story, which is Caves of Androzani, which is often looked at as one of the best stories of all time. I don't see why. It's not... I mean, it's a perfectly fine episode. I just don't see what's so great about it. His regeneration scene is kind of surreal. We get the Doctor who has just... early in the episode, they've both been... him and Perry have been infected with Spectrox toxemia. And he only has one cure. He chooses to save Perry and subsequently appears to be dying. He doesn't know if he'll regenerate. He thinks he's literally going to die, and he gets this image in his head of all the companions and then the Master, and that's the final push he needs to regenerate, because, you know, he's reminded that evil is out there and all of the companions are helping him do that in his mind. And he sits up and he's Colin Baker, and this is the first ever time we actually hear the Doctor, the incoming Doctor, speak after the regeneration. The rest have pretty much been unconscious, not there, or in Peter Davison's case, he just sits up and then that's it. This, we get our first lines of dialogue from the new Doctor, which pretty much sums up Colin Baker all up in that, which is he's arrogant, he's very, very arrogant, and a lot of people hate that, but I admit I am a fan of Colin Baker. I think he's really cool. Then we get his regeneration scene, which sadly is shit. There's been a lot of speculation on what happened here. Around the 80s, Doctor Who started to decline. It wasn't as popular as it used to be. The show went on hiatus after Colin Baker's first season. Technically second, because the Twin Dilemma came at the very end of season 21. And then series 22 began, and that was his first full series as Doctor. A lot of complaints because the show became very violent. Some highlights are the Doctor pushing people into vats of acid, Cybermen crushing someone's hands, and blood being visible on the hands.
Amazing.
The Doctor killing in cold blood a Cyberman, shoots it point blank in the chest, which happens in Earthshock as well. I think it happened. No, sorry, in Earthshock. No, yes. Earthshock, the golden star's rubbed into the chest and then it's shot, I think. And I think that happens in this episode too, in Attack of the Cybermen. Very violent run of the show, and not a lot of people like that. I personally don't mind it. It was just like, whoa, okay, that happened. So, you know, there were a lot of complaints from parents, and basically the show went on hiatus. It came back for Trial of a Time Lord, which was, I think, 14 parts long. Yeah, it was one massive long story arc, and after that they basically sacked Colin Baker. I think he said, I'll come back to do the regeneration scene, but I want one last season. They said no, so he didn't come back. So they had to come up with some half-assed way of doing it, and that half-assed way is we open up Time in the Rani, which is a dreadful story, with Sylvester McCoy on the TARDIS floor wearing a blonde wig. And it's dreadful. It is horrendous. The way they make it seem, the Doctor took a fall off an exercise bike, hit his head, and regenerated. There's a Big Finish audio, I'm not sure if it's out yet, that is actually going to detail how he regenerated. So that's going to be interesting. And then, yeah, it's basically the first time the Doctor didn't get a regeneration story. It was literally just the beginning of that season, and that's it. It's really shit. Most of McCoy's era I think there's only 12 episodes in his era, which there's only 11 of Colin Baker's, but yeah, early Sylvester McCoy wasn't very particularly good. He was extremely goofy. It wasn't until his last season where they were like, we better get our shit together. And Series 26 is phenomenal. And it's just a pity that we had the shit that came before it, because then Series 27 got cancelled and we didn't see it. So then we had a massive break from Doctor Who until 1996, where we had the television movie, where we get the rather controversial regeneration scene from the 7th Doctor to the 8th Doctor.
Yay, something I actually know.
Yeah. 7 or gets called into the hospital because of non-fatal gunshot wounds. I want to stress that point because a lot of people seem to think that's how he dies. It is not. He dies through surgery because he is allergic to, or he has a reaction to, oh shit, what's its name? Anesthetic. That's it. So that causes the regeneration process to nearly kill him. He nearly dies. But a few hours go by, I presume a few hours. And
then we have this amazing shot of Sylvester McCoy lying in like a morgue shelf, moving his face like,
yeah. Which isn't an effect. He did that. He is literally doing that.
It looks great.
Yeah, I don't.
It's so good.
Yeah, I don't
watch
get
the movie even just for that.
I don't get why the body seems to swipe the sheet off.
Yeah.
Like, I think it just would have probably been better had he sat up and it was Paul McGann. You know, plus we get the horrendous shot of the close-up of his mouth and the steam blowing out. But it's obvious it's blowing from, like, here. Because it looks like it's going from there. I'm going to look like a fool if it's actually coming out of his mouth. I don't know. But, that whole regeneration scene, it's kind of like a Christ kind of deal. I mean, the filmmakers deny that it's a religious thing, but it's kind of, you know, I don't know what to believe here.
Jesus.
Because he's in a white shroud and he's just been literally born again. And then we get Will Sasso.
And as everyone knows, Will Sasso was there at the resurrection of Christ. Yeah.
And threw up a lemon.
And threw up a lemon on the Son of God. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Read the Bible. That's exactly how it went.
Read it.
You ever been to Sunday school? They teach you that.
So we get that. Then we get the regeneration of the 8th Doctor, which happened quite a few years after the 8th Doctor had been and gone.
Canonically regenerated.
Yep. And that is Night of the Doctor, which I'm against its purpose for existing,
but
I love it. I have watched it so many times.
I need to rewatch it like 100 times.
The Regeneration, I mean, the humor he displays in that minisode is phenomenal. Just makes you want more of him.
Thirst for Paul.
Hashtag thirst for Paul. Yes, we get the physician heal thyself line, and I still think one of the funniest parts of that is, will it hurt? And it's just like... I want to know if that was intended or not.
Will it hurt? It'll John.
Yeah. Then we get...
John hurt, get it?
Then we get the reveal that isn't really a reveal because it's so fucking obvious that the War Doctor comes after the 8th Doctor, which literally everyone knew already, yet I have been told off for spoiling it for someone for some reason. Yeah, it's always like they know who the War Doctor is, but then, yeah, whatever. So there's that. We then get the War Doctor's regeneration into the 9th Doctor, which is tacked on at the end of Day of the Doctor, or just about. It's okay. I still think they could have finished the effect, because I've seen fans finish the effect. Whether it's like a legal issue thing, like they couldn't use his likeness, like they couldn't use Eccleston's likeness, I don't know. But yeah, okay. I guess it was one of the only parts that I actually kind of actually got a reaction out of me from Day of the Doctor, because there wasn't that many. I'm like, oh shit, are they? Okay, they're not. So there's that. Then the rest is history. We spoke about it.
The rest is canon.
Yeah. So, what do you see as like the ultimate swan song for Capaldi when he decides to leave?
Okay. Let me think about this.
Let's make this interesting.
Let me think about this. Okay.
It has to involve Missy, surely.
Obvious.
I kind of feel...
I feel like Missy has to be the one that ends it.
Maybe, but...
I don't know. I wouldn't say it has to, but like...
No, I never see the Master killing the Doctor or vice versa. I can never see it happen. I don't think it would ever happen either. There's that mutual respect.
Maybe, like, okay. How about indirectly?
Maybe.
Like, Missy does something,
maybe,
and then that causes the Doctor to regenerate.
Maybe.
Indirectly. Yeah. Like, as a side effect of something that she does.
I would kind of think maybe he finds Gallifrey. But we're also forgetting there are evil Time Lords on Gallifrey, and they end the life of the Doctor. Right. Such as Rassilon or whoever. Just someone does it.
Yeah.
Obviously that would mean they wouldn't, whenever Capaldi decides to leave the show, you know, do it in a way where Gallifrey isn't brought back till then. I kind of feel like it's probably going to happen at the end of this season, though. There's obviously the big talk. What?
Stop doing that.
What?
Stop doing that.
What?
With your leg.
Okay. There's obviously a big talk about the degeneration scene that's apparently going to be a cliffhanger.
You're doing it again.
Sorry, I don't know why. But if you guys don't know what the degeneration theory, or allegedly it's not a theory, it's actually going to happen, look up Doctor Who Series 9 Degeneration and you'll find out. I kind of also feel like it should involve a classic monster, like, you know, because Capaldi would be like that, probably. Oh, Sutekh. You don't know who Sutekh is, but Sutekh. For all you classic fans...
Where's Sutekh from?
No, he's from Pyramids of Mars, which is a Tom Baker story.
I saw that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Probably don't remember much of it, but I saw that.
But yeah, Sutekh. Sutekh is phenomenal. But they'd have to do him just right. That's the thing. Sutekh is a villain you cannot fuck up like they did with the Zygons. Anyway, that will probably be it from us.
Yep.
Next Wednesday, we are looking at the third season. We're also going to be ranking the finales, the final episodes, the 8 we have. We'll be looking at it as one cohesive story, not the individual parts.
Yep.
So, I guess in essence that will eliminate the need for us to compare the season versus season thing in terms of that particular thing, but we'll still look at the opening episode and whatever. So, yeah, you can look forward to that.
In the meantime, check out our solo channels.
Yep.
And such.
Which I just realized something.
Right.
And it's probably going to have to be corrected. What channel have we just been recording this on?
Yours?
Yep. The one time I forget. The one time I forget. Okay. So, yeah, we forgot. I don't know if this will just go up on mine, and then we'll make a link on our joint channel.
Yeah.
Saying, so yeah, I just kind of thought about that.
He's a stupid.
I do it every time.
Yep.
I managed to switch over to our joint channel, and then the one time, moving into the lounge room has proven to be more difficult.
Yep.
We couldn't get the thing to work, and then this.
So troublesome, man.
So troublesome. Anyway, guys, we will see you on our joint channel.
Or on solo
Wednesday.
channels, you know.
I'll make sure, trust me. I will make sure. But yeah, guys, sorry about the mass confusion.
Awkward.
Kind of was. We're just gone for all this time. But yeah, we will see you in our video Wednesday.
Yep.
Which will be fun.
Yeah.
Till then, guys, manage to watch all of the Doctor Who's. Go do it. Catch up with us
somehow.
And we will see you guys for the series
on Netflix.
Except for series 8.
It's on Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah, we will see you guys for the series 3 recap.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, take care. Bye.
Bye bye.